What's up, guys? It's Solo back with a video on Solo Hoops, and there's a few teams in the NBA right now that are struggling with major injuries, or there's also some teams that just kind of got over that. They're getting their stars back. Now they're trying to get back on track. One of those teams dealing with a lot of injuries is, of course, the Cleveland Cavaliers. The first star that's going to be missing some time for the Cavs is, of course, point guard Darius Garland, who literally ran full speed into Kristaps Porzingis, and now he has a fractured jaw and is expected to miss multiple weeks. I would guess he's going to be out for a month. He'll probably come back around January 20th. Missing a guy that's averaging 21 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, and 6 assists per game on good efficiencies is a pretty big loss to your team. Also, he's been playing solid defense. He's obviously small at 6'1", but for his size and just compared to his other years, I feel like he's been playing a little bit better defense this season. And the other star that the Cavs are going to be losing, well, I mean, stars kind of thrown around the NBA. Is he really a star? I don't know, maybe soon. But Evan Mobley, he's on the brink of being a star. Evan Mobley is going to miss 6 to 8 weeks. So I would say probably 2 months for Evan Mobley. He needs arthroscopic surgery on his left knee. And that's going to be a huge hit because Mobley's been great offensively this year, averaging 16 points per game on solid efficiency. He's been great on the glass, getting 10.5 rebounds per game, 3 assists as well. And his main contribution to this Cavs team, at least in my opinion, is his defense. He is a DPOY caliber player, has been playing great in the paint for the Cavs this year, and he's going to be an absolute big loss. So the question is, will the Cleveland Cavaliers be able to hang on and at least survive, maybe stay in the playoff picture, or just hover around that little 7, 8, 9 seed in the East while these two stars are out? Will they be able to do that? You guys let me know in the comments below what you guys think about it, but I will be explaining to you guys today why I think that the Cavs will be just fine. There's been some rumors around the NBA that the Cavs might trade Donovan Mitchell. There's a new report that came out 2 days ago, 3 days ago, saying they're unlikely to trade Donovan Mitchell despite the injuries to Garland and Mobley. I don't really know why they would trade Donovan Mitchell. He's probably a top 15-ish player in the entire league. You got the Cavs, who have the pieces to go far in the playoffs. Garland's gonna miss a month, Mobley's gonna miss 2 months, but I think they're gonna be fine. They're gonna get back, hopefully healthy, and play just like they were before the injuries. I mean, maybe it'll take a little bit of time, but I think come playoff time, of course, unless there's another injury to this team, I think this team has a good shot to go far. Of course, you got the Bucks, you got the Celtics, you got the Sixers, who have been looking insane. There's a lot of teams in the East, but the Cavs are definitely one of those teams that are going to be competing come April. And one of the reasons that I think this team's going to be competing come April is because I think that they are just fine. Their depth pieces, like right here, bro, Sam Merrill, 27 points the other night. This was on December 20th, so it was a few nights ago, but he's been hooping. Like every time I tune into the Cavs game, and just so you guys know, I have Donovan Mitchell and I have Karis LeVert on my fantasy basketball team, so I watch a lot of Cavs games. I'm always watching to see what they're going to do. Donovan Mitchell's been also missing some time. So speaking of these injuries, we should probably talk about Donovan Mitchell, but I think he just has an illness, but he's missed like the last 3 games or whatever. I'll be watching the games. I'll be like, all right, let's see. Is Karis LeVert hooping or whatever? How's he doing? I'll turn on the game. Sam Merrill looks like 2017 Klay Thompson. You know what I'm saying? He looks like the third Splash brother. Sam Merrill, there's a few other guys we're about to talk about. Like these random, or not random. I mean, Sam Merrill's kind of random, but the Cavs have guys that are just stepping up and just they're very efficient. Okay, so if we take a look at the Cleveland Cavaliers stats, you of course got Donovan Mitchell at the top, averaging about 28 points per game, but then you got Garland and you have Mobley. Their second and third scores are going to be out for a month to 2 months. Then you got Karis LeVert, who's been playing solid. I have expected a little bit more from him. We haven't really seen that yet. I feel like he's about to go off for a big game soon and, you know, kind of not prove himself, but kind of show like what we've been waiting for with all these injuries. And Karis LeVert's just such a good offensive player. Max Strus has been playing great, averaging 14 points per game. We're going to get to their efficiency in a second. A lot of these guys are shooting very good. Georges Niang too. He's another guy. Like they got a bunch of guys, and I haven't even got to them really. They're kind of in this midsection here that have been hooping. Georges Niang has been stepping up in his, you know, bigger role now. Okoro's been solid. Craig Porter's a guy that I don't think a lot of people knew who he was before the season. I definitely didn't, and a lot of even NBA you know, creators, NBA analysts didn't know who Craig Porter was before the season. And even on ESPN, say for fantasy, he wasn't even on there until he had like 4 or 5 like good fantasy games, or good basketball games, I should say, in a row. Like ESPN didn't even have him in the database. So, and Craig Porter's been hooping. He's been playing really good with Garland out. Next up, Sam Merrill. We already talked about him. He's been playing really good in his limited minutes. He's averaging 11 minutes per game. That's obviously gone up since they've got the injuries. And then Dean Wade also, he's another one. Wade, Niang, Porter, Merrill, all of these guys are absolutely hooping and stepping up. And Tristan Thompson, these last few games, last week, maybe week and a half, Tristan Thompson, like, I didn't even know he had this still in him. But Tristan Thompson has been hooping as well. We look at the three-point percentages. Mobley doesn't really get into the game, so we're just going to ignore him. But Sam Merrill is shooting 45% from three. And what I kind of look at as an elite three-point shooter is someone that shoots pretty much over 40% from three. Sam Merrill right now is shooting 45% from three. Craig Porter is shooting about 42. You got Dean Wade at 40. Okoro is shooting 39%. Strus is at 35. He obviously has a bigger sample size than all these guys, shooting 8 a game. Also, Merrill is shooting 4 a game. That's a pretty solid sample size. Not as big as Strus, though. Donovan Mitchell shooting 35. You got Garland at 34. Niang at 34. Karis LeVert at 32. Like I said, I think Karis LeVert is, I'm not going to say breaking out soon, but he's kind of due. He's kind of due to get his numbers up, especially given, you know, the usage and the minutes that he is expected to get with all these players out. There's a lot of teams that when their second and third best player, you know, fringe star players get hurt, you know, fringe 40, 50 top NBA player. I don't know what would you guys have Garland and Mobley, like top 40-ish, top 50? They're both kind of in that range, I would say. When they have those players go out, they're crumbling. You know, they're going on a losing streak. They are struggling. But we see the Cavs at 16 and 13. They currently have a play-in spot. They are 1 game back from the Heat, the Knicks, and the Magic. So that's easy. They could easily be the 4 seed right now. With all of these solid role players stepping up, I think the Cavs are going to be just fine. The title and the thumbnail of this video might insinuate that there's a genuine problem here and the Cavs are about to plummet. I don't really think that's the case. I think they're going to be just fine over the next month or two without Garland and Mobley. I'm not saying they're going to be the best team in the East, but I think they could be, you know, the 6th best team in the East. Now, as we look at these standings right here, there's another team that has been dealing with a lot of injuries, but this team is kind of getting over them. They've kind of already went through them, and that is the 6th seed right above the Cavs, the Miami Heat. They're kind of in a very similar spot as the Cavs, or maybe they were in a similar spot that the Cavs are now in. So when we take a look at the Miami Heat team, you got Tyler Herro's been hooping out of his mind lately. Like, if you have watched the Heat play, or you just been keeping up with the NBA, you know how crazy Tyler Herro's been going. I think he had an even crazier game today, so I don't know if that's factored into the numbers. And obviously, I'm talking about last night because I'm recording it on the night that he played. You know what I'm saying. But Tyler Herro is averaging basically 24 points per game. He's been out. He's only played 10 or 11 games this year. Bam Adebayo just got back from his injury, so he's only played 18 games. Jimmy Butler's still out, but I think he should be back like maybe today when I post this. I think they have a game, I'm not sure, but he should be back soon. I think they might play on Christmas. I don't know. He's gonna be back in a few days, but you never know. One of these guys could have an injury flare back up or something. I mean, it'll probably happen. I just feel like these are kind of injury prone-ish players. I don't know. But just like the Cavs, the Miami Heat have also had some role players step up like crazy. Duncan Robinson averaging 15 points per game. Where did that come from? That was kind of unexpected. Jaime Jaquez Jr. I've talked about it in my videos before. He's an excellent player. One of the best rookies, probably the 3rd best rookie in the entire league. He's averaging 13 points per game, and the stuff that you get with him is not only on the stat sheet. I've talked about this before, like his grit, his effort, his fight in NBA games. He's always giving 110% diving for a ball, stuff like that. So he's been excellent for them. I don't think the Heat really expected that out of him. Caleb Martin's been solid, 11 points per game. Josh Richardson's been okay. Kevin Love has looked solid too. Kyle Lowry, you know where you're getting out of that. Haywood Highsmith's even been solid. Nikola Jovic down here doesn't get a lot of minutes. I think he's a really good player. I think they should give him, you know, some more minutes. But this is another team that even through the injuries, they have guys that have been stepping up, and I think it's very comparable to the Cavs. Now we're gonna have to see, can those Cavs players do what the Heat did with all those injuries? Can a guy like Duncan Robinson go off for the Cavs? Will they have a guy step up like Jaime Jaquez? Now, as you guys know, if you've been watching the videos I upload daily on this channel, I always talk about some of the best performances in the NBA. But surprisingly, and this gotta be like some sort of record, there was nobody that really went off when it comes to points. The leading scorer for last night was Tobias Harris with 33 points. I think Tyrese Maxey tied him, but it's just kind of funnier to say Tobias Harris was the leading scorer when you had players like Embiid playing, Jokic play. There's a bunch of other players, but Embiid, I think, had like 31 points. I don't know if it's possible for Joel Embiid to get less than 30 points. Like, it's been like almost a month, I want to say, since Embiid got less than 30. I think he's averaging 34 or 35 points per game right now. We talk about him all the time. He's the front runner for MVP, at least in my opinion. Yeah, we didn't have the craziest night of hoops last night. Jordan Poole returned to the Bay Area. They played the Warriors. The Warriors won. Poole didn't play great, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Sub up if you guys haven't. We're almost at 500 subscribers, so I appreciate all the new subscribers. Turn on notifications and click the video popping up on your screen right here if you haven't seen it yet.